lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit. And I have already filmed this Alice in Wonderland update, but my phone, because that's what I'm filming on, decided to stop pretty close to the end because I ran out of storage. So I just went through my phone, deleted a bunch of stuff, so I'm hoping that I have enough storage on there to last me for the next few videos, but I'm going to have to refilm this. So unfortunately, I rolled stuff in, so I will just post a photo of the two numbers that I rolled in once we get there and just kind of go through it quickly with you guys. This is going to be a much quicker update than what I had originally filmed. So let's just get into it because I really don't want this video to be any longer than it needs to be. So for this update, the previous update, which was at the beginning of March, on March 1st, I had rolled in two brand new products and I had one that was being rolled over from my February update. So we're going to start with that one. And for that prompt, it was a product that you forgot that you had. So I chose my Sydney Grace highlighter, and I believe it's called PSL Extra Whip. So my goal for this was just to use it a total of 20 times. The last update I had used it 6, which meant I needed 14 more uses to be able to reach that goal, and you bet that I actually reached that goal pretty soon. I have not the numbers, but I have like the dates and everything, but it's in my notebook, which is like under all of my stuff right now. So unfortunately, I don't have the exact date, but I want to say it was in or around the 12th of March. There was a couple days where I didn't reach for it. A couple times I used it twice, so it kind of evened itself out. But this is what the shade is looking like right now. So as you can see, there is some usage on there. I really did enjoy using this, and even though it's slightly too dark for me for the winter, I feel like come summertime this is going to be a very beautiful shade. I do pair it with my highlighting palette that I'm panning for this year, so I am able to blend it out and make it a little bit lighter, but I really did enjoy reaching for this, and I'm very excited to continue to reach for it a few months from now when summer hopefully ever gets here. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. I'm happy that I'm rolling it out, happy to be rolling something else in place of this, and I would love to continue to get really good use on this in the future. So for the two products that I had rolled in last month, I rolled in a mini or a travel size product, and I decided I was going to use my Nude Sticks little mini stick highlighter. So I don't really like these kind of products. Stick products, cream products, these are just kind of like mismatched in my collection, so I don't really include them in any of my collection videos just because they don't really fit. But I do want to try and work those kind of products out just to curate my collection to something that's a lot more me, a lot more of what I like to use, a lot more of what I gravitate towards. These things, I do enjoy using this one right now, but it's not something that I would want to repurchase in the future. So what I'm going to do is, even though the photo I'm showing you guys, it just shows you what it looks like, I'm going to show you where I'm sitting at right now, and then I'm going to try and show you guys where it was sitting at when I rolled it in, because that photo did not do that whatsoever. But this is all that I have left, and I know that I'm going to be able to knock this out by the next update, which is so exciting to me because the only place that I use this is either my shoulders and my collarbone. I do not use this on my face, but I have been able to get really good usage on it over this past month. So I don't know if you're really going to be able to see, so I'm just going to roll this product up to where it was sitting at when I first rolled this in. And I don't know why it's not really focusing that well. So it was sitting give or take about there, and I have used this much of it. So I'm very happy with the progress on this, and I have a feeling this will be out by the next update, and I'm very, very excited about that. So last but not least, I had rolled in a palette that best describes you. So that could have been at the moment that you rolled that prompt in, or it could have just been in general. And the palette that I decided to go with was Lethal Cosmetics After Dark palette, and this is their like 90s vibed palette, so that's why I chose it, because I was born in the early 90s. The 90s just has a piece of my heart, always has, always will. So I felt like this was a very good choice for me. And the color story in here, I really do enjoy as well. Now, it's not a palette that I could use on its own, so I was pairing it with other shadows, which I had no problem with. My goal on this was just to use it 10 times. And I have completed that goal as well. So more often than not, I was just using the shimmers in here just to pair with my panless eyeshadows, my pan palette, my panning solitaire, any other shades that I happen to be working on. I did use the coral shade on the bottom lash line a few times because I am working on a few corals, so I figured it would be a good way to tie that shade in. But more often than not, I was reaching for this shimmer all over the lid. Lately, I've been using this shimmer along with this one, both on the lid. This is the outer half and this would be the inner half. I did try using this and I believe this shade together in a look. I did pair this silver shade with something else at one point. So even though I was only really reaching for this palette for one, maybe two shades max at a time, the fact that I still did that 10 times, I'm counting it, it's good, I'm happy with it, and I would like to continue to get some use on this. I have reached for this more than the 10 times, but I haven't kept track after I hit that 10 mark. So this is something that I would like to continue to use. It is a little bit harder just because it's not something that I could get a full look out of unless I wanted to go pink or purple in here, which might not be so bad later on in the summer, but for now, a couple shades at a time is good enough for me, and I'm sure that's how I will continue to use it for a little bit longer. So since I hit my goal on this one, I will be rolling this one out as well, which means 2 palettes are rolling out, 2 products will be rolling in. And like I said, I took a screenshot, so I had rolled the numbers 8 and the number 4. So what I did was I have 23 prompts for this project, but I went through all of those prompts and the remaining prompts left were a total of 9. So instead of me rolling 1 through 23 and then re-rolling each time I got a prompt that I had already had in this project, like I've been doing over the last few updates, since there was 9 remaining prompts, I just rolled 1 through number 9. And then I just counted down the prompts, and whichever corresponded with the number that I rolled is the prompt that I pulled in for this. So I rolled number 8 and number 4, but I'm just going to do it in numerical order. So number 4 corresponded with number 7 on my list, which was the Cheshire Cat. So this was a product that you had to wait to purchase because it was out of stock. So for this one, I chose a product that fits this, but in maybe a little bit of a different way. So basically what I chose was my Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo in the shade Soft Peach. Now, also during filming this video, I dropped this a few times, so it is kind of broken and messy in here. So I will show you guys what it looks like, but it's going to be not the greatest view of it just because of how messy it is. So as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. There crumbles all over the place. But this is a blush that was constantly out of stock at Beautylish, sorry. And each time I would go take a look to see if whether it was a sale or whether I was just curious to see if it came back in stock, Beautylish always had this out of stock. Where I actually purchased this was Marshall's. So technically, it still fits because technically I had to wait for this to come into stock at Marshall's because it was constantly out of stock at Beautylish. So that's how I'm making this blush work for this prompt for this project, because I really wanted to get some good use on it, especially since when I did purchase it, it was already a little bit messy and I had to press it down a little bit, but now it's even messier because I was dropping it. So the packaging, like if you have this packaging, you know exactly what it feels like, and it's kind of slippery, so it slipped out of my hands a few too many times, and this is the aftermath of it. So once I press everything back in, I would be very happy to actually get some real good use on this. And I feel like I can pair this with Coralista, which is in my deck of panning now, I believe. And I think those two would go really well together. So I'm gonna have a usage goal of 20 for this, and I feel like I could probably hit that pretty decently. I don't know if this will be out by the next update, but if it's not, it's going to be pretty close. I feel like I will be maybe around the halfway mark or so. We'll have to see what next update shows, but I don't feel like it's going to take me too long to be able to reach the goal for this one. So then I also had the number 8 that I rolled, which corresponded with the number 21 on my list, which was Alice, or Wake Up, Alice, Wake Up, which is a product that you wish you didn't own or it's a regret purchase. And for this one, it kind of like kicks me a bit because it was a customizable palette, and this one is from Buxom. And when I, like, this was forever ago. I don't even know if you could still customize palettes from them or not. But when I did this, like, it's not even necessarily the color story. I don't really know what it is. I just don't ever think about this palette whatsoever. This was something that I really was excited to try out. I do have a little bit of a dip in this shade, actually. So I feel like this may be a shade that I go and gravitate towards. This like little mint green shade is pretty much the only one like this in my collection. So even though this is something that I've kind of debated getting rid of, I've held on to it at the same time. Not specifically for this shade, but just because I'm curious about how I feel about it now. So my goal for this is just going to be a usage of 10. And I'm hoping that by those 10 uses, I'll be able to figure out how I actually feel about this palette. I don't know if I'll be reaching for one shade all 10 times or try to do a look, but either way, to me, it does not really matter as long as I'm reaching for this palette a total of 10 times, and we'll see what happens after that. There's a few shades in here that I am like still interested in that I would like to use, so I have no idea what the formula would even be like at this point, but we're going to use it. We're going to see how it goes. I'm hoping that I can get this one rolled out by next update. We'll have to see. If I do that, it will definitely be when I'm pairing it with other shadows in my projects right now because I have so many going on. But we'll have to see. I'm very excited to see if I can get the usage by then, but if not, I feel like it's going to be, again, pretty close. So those are the 3 products that I will be working on for this month. So again, this is the Buxom palette. I have my Cover FX blush and then this Nude Sticks highlighter. And like I said, this one will be gone. And if these 2 aren't being rolled out, they will be, I'm assuming, very close to being rolled out. So I'm really excited to see what this month is going to bring and how much usage I'm going to get on these products. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it in the introduction, I usually do, but if you haven't seen any of my other updates, the playlist for this project will be down in the description, so go check that out if you are curious or interested, and I thank you guys so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all later. Bye!